Mutiny in Singapore is clear?
Yes.
Okay, chalo start kariye fir aaj. Today we will be discussing about the program of Home Rule League movement. Yesterday I told you two prominent people were there who started Home Rule League separately. Who were those? Sandeep? Sandeep, who were those two people? मैं कल करवाया सी ना होम रूल लीग स्टार्ट ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਕੰਟਰੀਬਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ ਹਾਂ ਤਿਲਕ ਐਂਡ
Annie Besant.
लग गया एनी बेसेंट Okay. So now for all of the important movements, I told you yesterday, na? Day before yesterday, for any movement or any thing that is important, I tell you, you have to remember 2-3 things. First of all, what was the stance of Indian National Congress for that movement? Second, if they have any stand, then who was the president and which was the session? Clear? Third thing that you have to keep a check on is its program. Now program constitutes what? Their methods. Also, it constitutes whether it was a success or a failure. Also, you have to keep an eye on the extent of participation. And last but not the least, how Britishers reacted. Clear? For any, yes.
Contribution of
provision. Provision means features, characteristics. For example, if I say you Government of India Act 1909 we did yesterday, I made you write 6-7 provisions, indirect elections, non-official majority was increased, separate electorates were there. These are the provisions or features or characteristics. When we will talk about evaluation, then we will talk about two things, that is shortcomings and achievements. Right? So first of all, right, the Home Rule League movement, was started by Tilak in April 1916. Having 6 branches.
April 1916.
Yes, April 1916 in 6 branches, having 6 branches, bracket Maharashtra, but not Bombay. You understand, no? Bombay is there in Maharashtra, it's the capital in fact, but Tilak's area was not Bombay. Bombay was covered by Annie Besant. So it is very important for you to remember Maharashtra, but not Bombay, comma Karnataka, comma central provinces, comma central provinces, comma Berar, B-E-R-A-R, B-E-R-A-R, right? Demands लिखो तिलक की demands, demands Swaraj, Swaraj, linguistic states, Swaraj, linguistic states, and education in vernacular. Swaraj, linguistic states, and education in vernacular. Now next is Annie Besant. ये हमने तिलक की लीग के बारे में लिखा है, ठीक है? Write about Annie Besant. Annie Besant started separate home rule. Started separate home rule in September 1916. In September 1916. In Madras, and rest of India, in rest of India, including Bombay. In rest of India, including, clear now? It had 200 branches. It had 200 branches, which were loosely organized. Which were loosely organized. Demands. Demands. My throat is very bad today. Demands. Self-government. Self-government on the lines of white colonies. Self-government on the lines of white colonies. She campaigned through her newspapers. She campaigned through her newspapers. New India and Commonweal. New India and Commonweal. एक मिनट में स्पेलिंग देखो. Commonweal मैगजीन के नाम से. Yes. WEAL. Commonweal. Comma public meetings and conferences. Meeting and conferences. Both of them thought that. What's happening? Both of them were of the opinion. That in order to make a success, The approval of Indian National Congress is important. The approval of Indian National Congress is important. Is important. However, the Indian National Congress, neither accepted nor rejected the formation of Home Rule. However, the Indian National Congress neither accepted nor rejected the formation of Home Rule. Clear? This is clear that I told you. If any movement starts, then what is the stand of Indian National Congress? This is important for you. Hence, if in prelims question comes, consider the following statements about Home Rule. It was started separately by Annie Besant and Taylor. Annie Besant's league had lesser number of branches than Taylor. The Indian National Congress accepted the formation of Home Rule. Clear? This is how the statements will be asked. Clear? Okay.
Ma'am,
हाँ जी. हाँ जी बोलो.
ma'am, you're not audible. आपकी voice बहुत break हो रही है and like the internet is weak. You're not moving or we can't see you properly.
Yeah, the internet is weak. She's saying. देख लो एक बार. अच्छा यार इस तरफ से चल रहा है फिर पकी निमृत. इट इज ओनली विद यू. तुषार आपको आ रही है आवाज? तुषार हुणे फ्रीज हो गए मेरे. तुषार आपको आ रही है आवाज?
मैम अभी आ रही है, पहले नहीं आ रही थी.
अभी आ रही है, पहले नहीं आ रही थी कह रहे.
मैम इसका स्पीकर बंद कर दो, लैपटॉप का स्पीकर बंद कर दो. मैम
लैपटॉप का स्पीकर बंद कर दो. लैपटॉप का स्पीकर ऑन है.
वो सेटिंग्स में उसका हेडसेट पे चेंज कर दो ना.
सेटिंग्स में हेडसेट. I don't think so. हेलो, अब ठीक है तुषार?
यस मैम. हेलो
निमृत अब ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am. अब आ रही है.
Okay. You missed out on something or you could write it?
मैम वो लास्ट में क्या बताया था आपने, वो नहीं पता लगा.
मैम फॉर्मेशन ऑफ होम रूल तक तो लिख लिया है.
डिमांड कितनी? both of them that is Annie Besant and Tilak were of the opinion that in order to make this movement a success, the approval of Indian National Congress is important. But what happened? The Indian National Congress neither accepted nor rejected the formation of Home Rule. That is why both of them decided to separately start the movement. Clear? Now clear?
Yes, ma'am.
यस मैम.
Okay. So now you have to write what the home uh, government attitude, है ना? क्योंकि we have written this now. Right, government's attitude towards this movement. Government's attitude towards this movement. What will be the government's attitude? Will it be positive or negative? Negative. It will again start repressing it. So it was repressive in nature. Write down few points, okay? Write down few points. The home rule agitation, it is important for prelims, okay? The home rule agitation in its later years was joined by Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Tej Bahadur Sabru, Lala Lajpat Rai, Muhammad Ali Jinnah लिखिए था, Madan Mohan Malviya. Now these names tells you what? These names tells you that these very important people were so much influenced by the home rule and not were participating in the process program of Indian National Congress. Can you realize the importance of these names now? All of you are aware of at least 2-3 names: Madan Mohan Malviya, Jawaharlal Nehru and Motilal Nehru. So if these people are joining this movement, it means that INC's program is not effective. Am I clear? ठीक है, second point लिखो. This is for pre again. Write down. The Anglo-Indians mostly Muslims and non-Brahmins from South India, did not join as they felt home rule would be done by Hindu majority and that too high caste people. This point is clear? Now if question comes that Anglo-Indians also participated enthusiastically, true or false? High caste. Now you have to understand 2-3 things here when I say you about home rule movement. See, home rule means self-government on the lines of white colonies, right? So now what was happening in this movement was very prominent people came together and started demanding self-government. Clear? After that, what happened was this thing only, that many young people they started participating and getting organized. Now, if the youth will get organized at one point, do you not think that they will bring in revolution? Hence, the government attitude of government is what? To repress it or suppress it. It was so much so that students were beaten. Students were put into jail. Innocent students, barely protesting. They were put into jail. Sir Subramaniam Iyer, he was a very prominent personality. Sir Subramaniam Iyer was a very prominent personality. In order to protest against this repression, he gave up his knighthood. You understand knighthood? Knighthood in those days was any title that was conferred to some person for his prominent work. You understand? Bharat Ratna, etc., Khel Ratna Award, these type of things. This was conferred on him also. So he renounced it in the protest of the repression on students. Clear? But now later on, what you will see is they were doing very well. They were organized also. But what happened? It failed completely. When I say it failed completely, it does not mean that it did not yield any result. But it was such an incident that it could not achieve its desired objectives. When we will read its evaluation, the very important thing that we will understand is this thing, that Tilak, he was a pro-Hindu. He did not accommodate the masses and also non-Hindu majority. He started using religious symbols into some movement. I told you the use of Ganesha, Ganpati, and right. So such things will obviously make expression that this movement will certainly lead to Hindu rule and not the rule of the people. That is why their movement, the people could not join here. The masses, the real masses could not join here. Is this clear to you? Of course, there are other reasons also why it faded out or why it was not successful. Okay. So now write down evaluation. देखो shortcomings पहले लिखनी है. Shortcomings, there was lack of effective organization. इतने वॉल्यूम पे आवाज ठीक है? There was lack of effective organization. Second point, communal riots were witnessed. Communal riots were witnessed. The moderates and extremists could not effectively participate in the program. The movement was left, next point, The movement was left leaderless. The movement was left leaderless when Tilak moved abroad. When Tilak moved abroad. And Annie Besant was unable to give a lead. Was unable to give a lead. Next लिखो achievements. Achievements. First, the movement shifted the emphasis. The movement shifted the emphasis from educated elite to the masses. To the masses. Next, it helped to unite urban and rural centers. It helped to unite rural and urban centers. The August 1917 Declaration of Montague reforms was influenced by Home Rule agitation. Due to the efforts of Annie Besant and Tilak. Moderates and extremists were reunited at Lucknow in 1916. Presided by a moderate AC Majumdar. Sandeep, when did the split take place between moderates and extremists? Which year? Surat split, na? Which year? Anurag? 1907. So again, they patch up in 1916 due to the efforts of Annie Besant and Tilak. Clearly, why did they made efforts at all? Because they wanted to approve their program of. Next point. In 1916, another pact between Congress and Muslim League, Congress and Muslim League happened under which both of them decided to have decided to have a common demands to be presented to the government. हाँ मैंने मेरे बारे में यार पता क्या है, मुझे इतनी आदत नहीं है ना बोलने की। तो कल क्या हुआ था, कल मैंने इवेंट ना तो गला दुख रहा था तो आई टुक हनी, उससे ठीक हो गया। बट आज सुबह से ये तो मतलब बहुत ज्यादा पेन हो गया गले में, यहाँ पर ना। नहीं
उन्हें स्ट्रेचेस वगैरह चाहिए स्वालिंग
ग्रालिस इन्फेक्शन थोड़ी है, बोल बोल के गला बैठ नहीं जाता, तो हो जाते हैं। ये मेरा पहले भी हो गया था, जब मेरा पेपर क्लियर हुआ ना जस्ट राइट नाउ, so I had to give a lot of interviews and all, I had to talk to so many people, सारा दिन फोन आते रहते थे ते मतलब कि शाम तक मैं तो मेरी आवाज नहीं निकल जाती थी। मेरी सिस्टर्स होने से I had to type them that bring me this, get me this. स्ट्रेप्सिल्स ना ठीक हो जाएगा। हाँ गेट इट पैसे ले जाओ। नहीं लेके जाओ, कितने है ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਧਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾ ਨਾ ਆਇਆ ਉਰੇ ਯਾਰ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਖੁੱਲੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਯਾਰ ਲੈ ਜਾ ਯਾਰ ਐ ਨਾ ਕਰ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ यार पता नहीं कल बिल्कुल ठीक हो गया सी, कल शाम आज सवेर दा ही है जो मैं उठी है ना जो दी उदों दा दुखी जांदा और थोड़ा थोड़ा है। एसी दा मौसम ही नहीं रहा हुंदा एसी दा। I sleep on second floor, so it is enough air. What did I make you right? Finish कर लो यार इसको। I told you na. Now what this point means is now you have to understand that 1916 year is important for three things. Number one, home rule. Number two, patch up. Clear? The reunion, and the number three is reunion of Congress as well as Muslim League. ठीक है? Clear? This is how you have to write your points also. When I told you that you have to make your own short notes, you have to write the year and what all important happened in that year. This way you will be more able to understand things effectively. Clear? Write down next point in this only. While the Muslim League agreed to यार गर्मी लग रही है थोड़ी कि नहीं? सर मेरा गला ही बहुत वो हो गया,
क्यों गया?
बोले ही नहीं जा रहा अब तक
क्लास कैंसिल कर
है। बस आ वाली करके दूसरी गवर्नेंस भी कैंसिल कर दो,
ग्रुप में कौन है
ग्रुप पा दो, जमा ही बैठा हुआ है।
वॉइस रेस्ट करो भी
हाँ
वॉइस रेस्ट करो, बोलना नहीं पड़ेगा कल नहीं क्लास में गूगल पर कंजेशन हुई नहीं है ऊपर आके देखो।
बहुत ज्यादा
हां देखो
दुखी आता है, तो फिजिकली भी दुखी
हां
आता
मैं
है।
ऊपर पर कंजेशन देखा नहीं वर्कर्स कैंसिल कर दिया क्या नाम है दोबारा से कैंसिल ड्यू टू पुअर हेल्थ ऐसी बात
हाँ जी
क्लास को क्या टाइम हुआ
बस सर लखनऊ वाला सेशन खत्म करना, फिर मेरा टॉपिक बच्चे
यार
रहेगा।
उसमें से इतना ज्यादा कंजेशन पड़ेगा
नहीं यार देखो बस एक पॉइंट रहेगा, एक पॉइंट। फिर भी तो दोबारा तो शुरू कराना होगा, कल आके या परसों आके, बस ये डन कर।
कल भी ना
हाँ,
करो
कल नहीं
परसों
करते।
भी ना करो 2 दिन एटलीस्ट मिनिमम रेस्ट मिनिमम 2 दिन रेस्ट
सर नहीं परसों ठीक है, फिर मैं
भाई मैं बोल रहा हूं इसे और ज्यादा खराब हो जाएगा कि जो खराब करूंगी ना थोड़ा हमें तुम्हें जिंदा ज्यादा जरूरी है क्लास एक से कुछ नहीं होना ये कौन सा तब जो परसों पेपर है जो इनको परेशानी हो जाएगी एक दिन के लिए रेस्ट तुम ये भी कर लेती है
ये बाकी आती है इसका
थैंक यू।
बात भी हो रही है ना
हाँ पानी ना उससे पड़ी ना
बात से भी ना पूरे नहीं कुछ भी
ये ठंडा पानी तो मैं वैसे ही नहीं पीती कभी भी, बट वो ਹੁੰਦਾ ना लाइक बोल बोल के, क्योंकि फिजिकल पेन हो रही है, इन्फेक्शन नहीं है ये। बोल बोल के हो जाता ना ना बस थोड़ा ही रहेगा टॉपिक है, फिनिश करके फिर दिन डन द क्लास की लिखवाया मैं लास्ट में। प्रेजेंट joint constitutional demands decided to present the joint constitutional demands. The Congress accepted the Muslim League's position on separate electorates. Clear? What is the significance of Congress accepting the formation or the existence of separate electorates? Yes. Separate electorates क्यों लेके आए थे? To number 1 divide and rule policy, and number 2 to woo the Muslims and at the same time make the Hindus inferior. Now if Congress is accepting separate electorates, it means what? They have to do such a compromise which have let them accept separate electorates. Again, second stage of communalism. When we understand communalism, we discuss it in different stages. Stage 1 I told you, separate electorates. Now stage 2 is acceptance of separate electorates by Congress. Right, next point. I told you the joint constitutional demands. वो भी लिख लो. The joint constitutional demands were government should declare that it would confer self-government. On Indians. Clear? Next point. The legislative council should be further expanded. The legislative councils should be further expanded. With an elected majority, and half of the members of Viceroy's Executive Council should be Indians. And half of the members of Viceroy's Executive Council should be Indians. How many members were there in Viceroy's Executive Council? Please come on. We are talking about the Viceroy. Yes, 50. ठीक है? Elected majority. Half of the members of the Viceroy's Executive Council should be Indians. Next paragraph here. Next, while the efforts of the Congress and Muslim League, to come forward was appreciated, but the acceptance of principle of separate electorates by the Congress and the League meant that Congress and Muslim League are two separate political entities. Congress and Muslim League are two separate political entities. This was a major landmark in the evolution of two-nation theory. बीच में मैंने आपको बताया था ना ये Montague statement. This was nothing but it was only to get Indian support in the World War's claim further, which said that Indians will be given self-government. But what was the main problem? Time was not given कि कब देंगे Indian self-government and also how, what is the process. ठीक है? तो ये देखो Montague statement of August 1917. Statement of 1917 said that the demand of nationalists for self-government or home rule will not be considered seditious. I told you the meaning of sedition. Seditious since the attainment of self-government, is now the policy of British government. Inverted commas closed. ये किसने बोला था? मॉन्टेग्यू ने बोला था कि अगर आप अब सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट डिमांड करोगे तो हम उसको सेडेशन नहीं कंसिडर करेंगे, क्योंकि अब गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया है, सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट को ही अपनी पॉलिसी बना लिया है. बट डू यू थिंक दिस इज गोइंग टू हैपन इन रियल? डेफिनेटली नो ना. The Indian leaders were not convinced because no specific time frame was given. Comma, the government alone was to decide. This was really effective. The government alone was to decide the nature and timing of advance. Towards the responsible government. And Indians were not happy that they are not given a chance to decide for themselves what is good and what is bad for them. Topic is clear here till now? Everyone? एक बार देख लो अगर कुछ पूछना है तो. ये थोड़ा सा फैक्चुअल था. तो today we have completely finished 1916. Okay. From tomorrow onwards we will begin with Gandhian phase. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. ठीक है? हाँ. मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री का जितना हो गया टेस्ट में बना के भेज दूंगी. ठीक है. और गवर्नेंस का क्या बोला था? मींस ग्रुप में डाल दिया. आज की गवर्नेंस की क्लास नहीं है. ऑनलाइन एंड आउट.
नो मैम.
क्या हुआ? जो कंबाइंड क्लास करोगे वो देखो.